The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine grower. He takes away every branch in me that does not bear fruit, and every one that does, he prunes so that it bears more fruit. You are already pruned because of the word that I spoke to you. Remain in me as I remain in you. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit on its own unless it remains on the vine, so neither can you unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever remains in me and I in him will bear much fruit, because without me you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me will be thrown out like a branch and wither. People will gather them and throw them into a fire, and they will be burned. If you remained in me and my words remained in you, ask for whatever you want, and it will be done for you. By this is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit and become my disciples. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I love this Gospel reading. I love it so much that I use it on my holy card, my ordination card, that I picked out this quote, remain in me and I in you, and you will bear much fruit. I think it's just to remind myself of my ministry is to remain in the Lord if I am to bear much fruit, because apart from him, I can do nothing. And that applies to all of us. So this is very important for us to remember. Remain in Jesus. Otherwise, we would be spiritually dead. We would be worthless in a way. Right? I mean, we wouldn't be able to accomplish much without Jesus, but with Jesus, we can do incredible things. And so who best knows how to remain in Jesus and to bear much fruit but Mary, right? She is the most perfect of all the disciples. She is our mother as well, and she always remains in Jesus. She's always one with Jesus. That's why she bears so much fruit. And so she tells us how to remain in Jesus. 103 years ago today, she appeared to the children of Fátima, and she tells them basically three things. And these three things help them and help us to remain in Jesus and to bear much fruit. The first is prayer, especially the rosary, to pray the rosary, to pray every day, to pray. Prayer is essential if we are to remain in Jesus. If we don't pray, then we are already separated from him. We can't bear fruit if we don't pray, right? Prayer is essential. Prayer brings peace to the world, right? It ended World War I and it kept World War II to a minimal, right? So prayer is essential, especially the rosary. And then the other thing that she tells them and us is to do penance, to make sacrifices, right? That's something that we have to do. And that's what they did. The children did that. Right? They gave up food, they gave up water, they gave up all kinds of stuff. You know, I went to Fátima a couple times, a beautiful place, and everyone should go if you get a chance. And when I go there, what do I see? I see people on their knees, walking on their knees, praying the rosary around the shrine, praying and making sacrifices for our salvation, for peace in the world, for our intentions. Right? So your prayer can be so much more powerful when they're accompanied by sacrifices. Give up something. Pray on your knees. Pray with your hands extended, right? So that should be built in to our life, sacrifices. And then lastly, a call to conversion, ongoing conversion, right? When we live in sin, then we're separated from the vine. We are separated from God. We can't bear fruit if we live in sin. So we have to make progress in ongoing conversion, reforming our life all the time. You can never be complacent where you are, right? Because there's a saying in the spiritual life, if you're not progressing, then you're regressing. We can never be complacent. We have to make progress every day. We have to advance. We have to grow in holiness. And so ongoing conversion is what we're called to. And these three things, they complement each other. They help each other. They are essential. They're one to help us to remain in Jesus, and he remain in us, and we will bear much fruit. So especially during this time, don't waste it. Are you bearing fruit during this time? Well, we should always be bearing fruit, regardless of the circumstances. Many people just shut down during this crisis. It's not a time to shut down. There's no time to shut down. We should always bear fruit. And if you're not bearing fruit, then you have to ask yourself, are you remaining in Jesus? Are you praying? Are you doing penances? Are you converting, going through an ongoing conversion? Remain in Jesus and bear much fruit for the glory of God.